Ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, friends, comrades on the YouTube, to my family, and to the love of my life, who is not with me today, unfortunately. It was a dandy little journey, though, I gotta tell you. It wasn't even, I don't know, it might have been a mile or so to have my love with me. If you can check the last video out, it's a short one. And she came along, but I got to tell you, we ended up not taking the long way home, unfortunately, because she was in a tremendous amount of pain. She's got a neck issue, and I think yanking herself up the passenger side ladder must have just screwed something up in her neck, and she was miserable there for quite a while. Took us a long time to get out of there. And it was longer waits for my paperwork than it was for them to actually unload there at the Trader Joe's distribution center in Palmdale. You know, not a real good review in terms of getting a guy out of there. They unloaded me in fairly short order. I mean, I wasn't too disappointed in that. But they sure didn't hustle up on that paperwork. I'm thinking it was one of those kinds of places that unloads the truck entirely and then inventories the whole thing, puts it away, and then finishes your paperwork. And I'm almost positive that was the situation in Palmdale. So, kind of a bummer there. And it just added to the bummer that Mama wasn't well. She didn't feel good at all. So anyway, we finally got it out of there, but I couldn't find it in myself to, you know, send her on a 3, 4, 5 mile journey just to feel the truck in all that discomfort. So we just ended up going right back over to my brother's and parked the truck for the night, and then got her home for remedy. So I also mentioned in that last video that after that load was over that I was going to be on home time. However, I was on a mission. And I was. The mission was a successful one. I had to take the DMV, California DMV testing again to switch my Class A over from Washington to California. Well, when I got to the counter, I waited, I don't know, probably an hour and a half just to get to the counter, the first window, to get instructions to carry out the rest of my duty. And I got to that finally got to the window after a long wait in Lancaster, Palmdale, DMV. Anyway, you know, you got to go in there with a good attitude. You can't go in there pissy. Because if you go in there pissy, you're going to stay pissy because you're going to wait, and it's going to make you even more pissy. And there's just no sense in that. You got to know when you go into the DMV. I don't give a damn if you have an appointment or not. It's irrelevant. It's going to take you a long time to get whatever you got to get done. It just is. So make sure you eat whatever dope it is you got to take to keep your head straight and get a good brain on so that you can sit there for a while, because you're freaking gonna. So anyway, I told the gal what I needed. And she said, okay, well, you're only going to have to take the motorcycle and Class C test. I said, really? Let me tell you, I studied my ass off for the commercial tests that I was sure I had to take. And so I've got this website called Drive Genie. Get it. If you're a CDL holder, motorcycle license holder, or not, if you've got to take that test again, get Drive Genie. Go to that website. I bought the premium package back in 22, I believe it was, for $150. I don't know what it is anymore. It doesn't matter to me. I already got it. And when you practice the questions on that website, it's for every state and for every endorsement and for every license of every state. Those questions and answers are damn near verbatim, word for word. I mean, almost word for word. You study that exam. You tell the website what exam you want to take in what state, and it gives you a study guide, and it guides you through the whole program and informs you what your next test is. And then you get through that test. If you miss a question, it goes into a challenge bank. And when you're done with that test, you go into the challenge bank, you re-answer the questions, and before you know it, that whole test is in your brain. I'm telling you, it's a great way to go. Drive Genie. So she told me that I was only going to have to take motorcycle and Class C. Okay. So the next step was to go over and take my picture and my tests. Great. So I got over there to the picture window. The dude there helping me snapped a photo and then told me they took my thumbprint. He says, okay, go over there to take the tests, and the tests that you need to take will pop up. I said, okay, fair enough. Well, as I said, I was told motorcycle and Class C. They all popped up. I had to take 7 tests. Call it 8, because the first time I did the motorcycle test, which I've been riding for 25 years, as my wife says, I flunked it. So I had to take that one immediately right over again, and then I sailed through it. And I even studied that one, at least a little bit, and I still missed it. The things they tell you in the California DMV test are not the things that are in practice when you're a motorcycle rider. I don't ride in the center of the lane ever. Isn't that where all the oil is? Yeah, it sure is. That's where all the oil is. I run where the rubber is, where the groove is, the line. I run in that. Either side of the lane, depending on my situation. I can't be definitive about it because it depends on what your situation is. But I don't ride down the center, and a lot of the answers had to do with being in the center of the lane before you started a maneuver or whatever the hell it is you had to do. So it was stupid and impractical. Nonetheless, I got through it. Then I had to take all of the CDL tests, and I did, and I passed all of them. Each test was 25 questions. I got doubles and triples endorsement, tanker endorsement, and you have to pass the air brake test in California and probably every other state. I don't really know that, but in California, if you don't pass the air brake test, you will have a restriction on your license. You may get a CDL, but you'll be restricted to hydraulic brakes. You won't be able to take any vehicle that has air brakes. And so what's the point? You have to pass that. So finally I did. Yay. It's mind it rattles your cage, man. It does. It rattles your damn cage because the pressure's on. You know, this is for my employer. Not just me. I mean, obviously it was for me too. But boy, did I put off changing that thing over from Washington to California until Leonard's Express said, nah, man, you have to do it because the FMCSA requires that your license match your physical address. And I don't live in Washington anymore. I'm back in California where I started. So anyway, I passed all the tests. Another thing I kind of thought was a little bit on the nifty side was that I have held a CDL in California before. Hell, I've held just a license. I got my license when I'm 17 years old in California. I changed it up to Washington, and then I came back down to change it back to California. Well, they asked me, did I have a California license prior? And I said, yes, I did. And damn if they didn't give me the same number I had since I'm 17. So that's lodged up here. Let me tell you, Washington's numbers for the driver license wouldn't fit across this screen. It's so many damn numbers. It's got to be 12. I don't know what it is, but it's a lot. So anyway, I was able to get through it. I'm grateful that I got through it. And that's the end of that. That is the end of that. Now when I get home after this next run, my actual license, which will be a real ID, should be waiting for me on the dining room table where the mail goes. So should have that taken care of. One thing that kind of lit me up from my Washington deal was that I handed them a real ID in Washington, and they didn't give me one back. I don't appreciate it. They didn't even ask about it. So anyway, and the thing is that what pissed me off the most is I had everything that I needed. So anyway, I ended up getting a real ID in California from my switchover. So we're good. We're good. So now here I am. Finally got a load. I was ready to go out yesterday. Today is Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo, and I was gonna go out on Cuatro de Mayo, but it's not happening. Why is not happening? He's no load. That kind of made me a little bit nervous. There was no load for me on Monday. And I even told I told my DA that, hey, if it's tomorrow, it's tomorrow. That's cool, but I was a little nervous about that. But they finally found me a load. So I'm in Ontario, California right now at an Americold. I've been to this facility before, my last stint with Leonard's Express. When I got here last time, over in the parking lot over this way from where I am right now, there was a gigantic water pipe failure in this parking lot. And so that's how I remember this place. I remember it well. But anyway, so I'm in Ontario right now. My load is going to be Dannon dairy products. Not exactly sure what just yet. I'm backed into the door, but they haven't started loading me yet. Therefore, I haven't finished loading, and so I don't know exactly what I have. But I'll be letting you know on my way up toward Washington. When I cut another video, I'll let you know what's on board. I didn't know what was on board at the Trader Joe's either. Turns out it was desserts. I don't know what kind of dessert, but some kind of dessert. Anyway, usually with Dannon stuff, it's probably, sour cream, milk, that kind of thing. They want the reefer on 34 degree continuous. So that's where I'm at here in Ontario, taking this up to Grandview, Washington, which is a Walmart distribution center. I'm going to take a little bit of a different route. Grandview is kind of in central Washington. So I don't take the I-5 all the way up through Oregon into Washington and cut across. I mean, I'm sure I could, but I'm not doing that. The maps on my Garmin and Google both have me going up the I-5 into Weed, California. Watch it. Watch it. And there is a junction there that takes you onto United States Highway 97. So I'm going to hop on that 97 and take it all the way up into Washington, and then you kind of juke around a little bit and get into Grandview. So the treat of that is, again, when you're driving big trucks and you're traveling all over the country, I've got friends and family everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but I have a lot all over this country. Family, just due to the fact that everybody's moved out of SoCal. And then friend, because so many of them I knew with my, 26 or so years of monster jamming. And I knew people from all over the country monster jamming. And still do know plenty of them. We're all older now, I can tell you that. And I couldn't tell you a single person that's involved in monster jam anymore. I don't know who they are. Maybe some of the show directors, Go! But yeah, I don't know if I know any of the folks that did what I did. So anyhow, in Lapine, Oregon, which the 97 goes just right on through, it's a little bit south of Bend, Oregon, and about 4.5 hours from my delivery, are some of our dearest friends, the Godfather and Sis Larzetti. That is the significance of that couple for us. They're the first couple that my love and I met as a couple. All the couples that we knew prior to that were either couples that I knew or couples that she knew. And then they met me, or I met them, or she met mine, or mine met them, her, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But the Godfather and Sis are the first couple that we met as a couple. So that's significant. They're also motorcycle enthusiasts. We used to ride motorcycles a lot together when they lived in, let's just call it Palmdale, just to keep you guys dialed in with where I'm talking about. They didn't live in Palmdale, but you know what I mean. Antelope Valley. We rode with them a lot. So, anyway, I'm going to have an opportunity probably to see them. I'm not real sure yet. I think I will. And we'll see how it goes. They're 4.5 hours or so from my delivery, so hopefully that'll work out. Even if I can just get lunch with them, that would be nifty. So here goes my first pallet. Yay-hoo! Only 20 minutes behind schedule. That's fantastic. So, Godfather, Sis, I'm on my way. I'm going to get absolutely as many miles as I can get in today. In about 8.5 hours, I am going to haul ass and try and get as far north in California as I could possibly get, so that I can chill in La Pine tomorrow. Again, even if it's just to break bread. And we'll see how it goes. I have to deliver on the 7th at 3 p.m. And today is Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo. I go 7 de Mayo at 3 o'clock. So we'll see. We'll see if I'll be able to stop in La Pine. Should be, but it's a little far out to be able to make an absolute plan. But we'll see how it goes. So that I think I'll leave that there for now. Swivel, you got to swivel. I'm swiveling here. I see some shady cats walking around this place, so I've definitely got a swivel on. It's fairly secured. They only opened this place up for truck traffic to my right, which would be east, and that is the case in most places, and so this is locked up. So, but I'm still swiveling. I mean, I'm in Ontario. Swivel. You do know who low you. It's your boy. It's Clydesdale. We're Reefer Truckin' with Leonard's Express. I hope you guys have a great day and do something nice for somebody. Peace.